Michael Masserant is here. I love talking to this guy because we're talking money. Now, buried under a mountain of student loans, maybe you have that credit card debt. Many Americans are wondering if they will be able to not only save for retirement, but if they'll just be financially okay. Michael, first of all, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, of course.
And people saw their accounts, and I remember either you were talking to Ryan or I was listening to you talk to Ryan, but we were talking about how the stock market has shot up, then it went back down. And so you get some great advice at the time. You're like, just calm down and talk to your financial advisor. So first of all, welcome, man.
Yeah, of course. And that's, it's funny because you're right. We were talking earlier in the year, around April, when things were getting really hectic in the stock market. And when that happens, everyone's asking, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And 9 times out of 10, the right thing to do is nothing. Just give it time to recover. And, in hindsight, anyone who just sat there and didn't do anything, they look smart right now because the market recovered very, very quickly. And that's not always the case. Sometimes it takes 6 months or a year or 2 years for the market to recover. In this particular time, it took a month. And so that's why we try to tell people, listen, this is about the long term, and don't let these short-term movements spook you out too badly.
So you have some great ideas for us when it comes to not only retirement, but financial independence. Just really, we're talking about financially stable. Where would you start with that?
So everyone's different when it comes to financial independence. For some people, that's retirement. They want to be able to retire, walk away from the paycheck, and be self-sufficient with their own savings. For other people, if they're younger, it's just not having that grind of the day-to-day, paycheck-to-paycheck lifestyle. So you got to figure out, what is financial independence for me? Is it, in the next 1 year, 2 years, having an emergency fund built up? Is it getting out of credit card debt? Is it starting your 401k savings? Figure out what are your goals and stick to those goals. The next thing you got to do is, people hate budgeting, but it's important. And I get it. Listen, I think for a lot of people, doing a reverse budget is much more powerful than a standard
budget. What does that mean?
Reverse budgeting is, okay, you have your money coming in every single month. Set up your automatic payments, your mortgage, your car payment, automate your savings. And then once you automate all those things, now whatever else you have left over, go ahead and spend it. Because if you know you have money coming in every single month, and the mortgage is covered, the car payment's covered, you're paying off your credit cards every month, you are automating your 401k savings, your brokerage account savings. Once you have done all those things, any leftover money is spending money. And now we can go spend it guilt-free, knowing we're taking care of the other important stuff.
And talk about getting rid of debt. That's the next one you had on the screen. Getting rid of debt. Sometimes it's hard to do with all of those things in your budget and to save for a 401k. How do you recommend approaching that?
So if someone has debt, the first thing that they have to do is kind of sit down and figure out, okay, what is my highest interest debt? What am I paying the most interest on? And if someone has credit card debt, it's going to be the credit cards. That is always more expensive than the car loans or student loans or a mortgage. So you want to make sure you're knocking out that expensive credit card debt first, and then tackle everything else, ideally in the order of highest to least interest cost.
Right. The last thing, we're talking about savings, but for that person out there who is wanting to retire, maybe in their 40s to 50s, what do you recommend to them when it comes to saving for retirement, 401k? What do you make sure to say, do this and it's not too late?
So for anyone who's closer to retirement, their 40s, their 50s, there's really two things. Is number one, saving as much as you can, of course, into your 401k, saving and investing, not just saving into a checking account or a savings account, but saving and investing into the 401k, the IRA, maybe the Roth accounts. And then number two is, if someone thinks, someone's maybe in their 50s or 60s and they're looking towards retirement, a lot of people have these goals of, well, I want to save $500,000 or $1 million or $2 million. They have these numbers they're striving towards, and that's great. But what's more important is, how much do you need to give you what you want in retirement? So if you want to go spend $100,000 a year in retirement, great. First, before you retire, prove it to yourself that that's the right number.
That's what you need.
Live on $100,000 because for some people, they think that they're going to spend less in retirement. But once we retire, we have 2,500 more hours per year to go spend more time and usually spend more money.
I appreciate all the advice. You're going to come back in the next hour and talking about living with your parents and kids moving home.
Exactly. Financial independence for kids.
So stick around, Mike. We'll talk to you again in the next hour.